welcome to Guatemala. Today we are going to talk about positive thinking, how to learn it and what actually happens in the brain while you're practicing and how to achieve it successfully. And I thought there's no better place to shoot this video than with this beautiful volcano behind me. To reach positive thinking or negative thinking, it works exactly the same way and it's just as easy. But then sometimes, we get too preoccupied with our problems and for some reason it's just easier to complain, it's easier to blame others. While we are thinking negative or positive, our brain is working to make that thought process easier for the next time. Imagine it like a forest where no one walked before. So you start making your way across the forest, but there's no path. But then the second time you will recognize a little bit of path because you walked there before and the vegetation moved to the side, you stepped on the grass and it becomes more visible. Now then you go and walk on the same path the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, then it becomes an actual path that anybody can see. Basically this is the same thing that happens in the brain. When you start thinking negative or positive, you're creating pathways, and the more you do one or the other, the brain is making it easier for you to do it the next time. So I was thinking I'm going to give you a very easy tool to make sure that you're creating the right pathways. I'm not talking about legitimate complaining when someone deliberately stands in front of the line. I'm talking about the unnecessary complaints when someone accidentally steps on the foot and you get mad about it. It was obviously an accident, so there's no need to get angry. But then you start working yourself up. Oh my God, what an idiot. I can't believe she didn't see me, and then she didn't apologize right away. And then you work yourself up. You start complaining. And then some of us actually say these out loud, some of us keep it to ourselves, but your brain is working to make it easier for you the next time. So then you complain again and again and again instead of just letting it go and think positive. So why not create the right pathways? The idea of positive thinking is very simple. When you're faced with a situation, you can choose between two different reactions. Let me give you a simple example. You arrive to the store and you're planning on getting apples, pears and cherries, but cherries and pears are gone, so you only have apples left. So then you can choose, am I gonna get mad at the people because they wanted the same fruits, or the shop that they didn't stock themselves properly, or I'm gonna work myself up that now I had plans for a cherry pie but now I can't make it anymore. Or you think, okay, this is a good challenge, I only have apples left, maybe I make an apple pie instead of the cherry pie, maybe I use it for salad, maybe I use it for decoration, whatever. But what I'm saying is that you're faced with a situation. You can choose to think negatively or you can choose to think positively. What I noticed is that people usually complain about really small things, very unnecessary things. What people don't realize is that the brain is working in the background. So we need to make sure that work process is actually working for something positive. So a few words about the subconscious. The subconscious doesn't understand exactly what you say, but it can differentiate between positive and negative. So for example, when you say things like, I'm not as good looking as that guy, I could never be that successful as that woman, or just joke around like, haha, I'm getting fat, your subconscious is listening and it understands that you're talking shit about yourself or you're talking shit about others. So some of us joke with it because we are insecure and try to hide it. Some of us think that this is actually funny and being sarcastic, but the subconscious is listening. And what you might not realize, that maybe you're training yourself to think that you're fat, you're unsuccessful, you're not that good looking because you're talking shit to yourself. So please stop doing that and start nurturing yourself with positive thoughts. It's just like when you eat good food, your body is stronger, your thinking is sharper, you feel better about yourself. It's exactly the same. Think about it as a diet. What do you want to feed your mind with? When you look into the mirror, appreciate what you see. But also it's important to find the right balance, because if you go overboard, then you will come across arrogant or cocky. But what I realized, as your self-confidence grows, the cockier you come across to people with insecurities. And this is where you have to experiment. You need to find the Goldilocks zone between cocky and confident. What I usually tell my students is that we are training together become good examples, because we need people who actually love themselves. I still do get some critics when in front of people I compliment myself, or somebody compliments me and I accept the compliment. Or for example, sometimes I say things like, I'm very happy with myself. I do think that I'm beautiful. I do have courage and I do love myself. But in my opinion, if I'm going to say something to myself, it better be positive. And since I already worked through my insecurities, I don't need people's approval. I have to admit that it is a big challenge not to come across arrogant, just self-confident, but it's not a mission impossible. So start feeding your mind positivity. This is all about practice. So keep practicing positive thinking, say the right things to yourself, say the right things to others. When you feel like that you have to complain unnecessarily, just pause and think about it for a second. If you can, just try to let it go and turn it into something good. If you like the video, share it with some people who could benefit from it. I wish you all positive thinking. Bye.